Gina Park stood at the large window overlooking the training yard. Her eyes followed the handlers working with their animals below. Some had dogs, others had wolves, and a few worked with bears, but none had a tiger. Not yet. "Officer Park, the commander wants to see you now," said a young man at the door. Gina nodded. She smoothed her dark blue uniform and followed him down the hall. The Seoul Interstellar Defense Force base was busy today. People rushed around, carrying papers and talking fast on their comms. 3 years had passed since the accident. 3 years since her little sister Suna had died in space. Sometimes Gina still woke up at night, thinking she heard Suna's laugh. The commander's door was open. Gina took a deep breath and walked in. "Sit down, Park," Commander Doyun said. He was a short man with gray hair and tired eyes. "I have something special for you." Gina sat down. "Yes, sir. You are our best handler. Every animal you work with performs better than expected." He pushed a folder across his desk. "That's why I'm giving you T7. Gina opened the folder. Inside was a picture of the biggest tiger she had ever seen. Its fur was orange with black stripes, but metal parts showed through in places. Its eyes glowed slightly blue. "T7 is our newest model," the commander said. "Enhanced strength, speed, and senses, plus advanced neural implants." "Neural implants?" Gina asked. "For better control." "For more than that. This tiger can understand complex commands. It can make decisions based on changing situations. And most importantly, it can form a real bond with its handler." He tapped the picture. "With you." Gina looked at the tiger's eyes again. There was something there, something almost human. "When do I meet T7? She asked. "Right now." The holding area was deep underground. Gina followed Dr. Kyung, the lead scientist, through several security doors. "T7 is special," Dr. Kyung said. Her voice was soft but excited. "We used new technology for its brain. It can learn much faster than our other animals." They stopped at a large metal door. Dr. Kyung pressed her hand to a scanner. "Remember," she said, "approach slowly. Let T7 come to you. The bond must form naturally." The door slid open. Inside was a large room with trees and rocks. It looked like a piece of forest had been brought underground. In the middle, lying on a flat rock, was T7. The tiger was even bigger in person. Its chest rose and fell with each breath. The metal parts along its spine and legs gleamed under the lights. "Go on," Dr. Kyung whispered. Gina stepped into the room. The door closed behind her. She stood very still, watching the tiger. T7's ears moved, and slowly, the tiger opened its eyes. Blue, bright blue, with a glow from the tech inside. Gina's heart beat faster. She was used to dangerous animals, but this was different. T7 wasn't just an animal, it was something new. The tiger stood up, stretching. Then it looked straight at Gina. For a long moment, neither moved. Then, slowly, T7 began walking toward her. Its steps were silent. Its eyes never left her face. Gina held her ground. She kept her breathing even and her posture relaxed but alert. This first meeting would set the tone for their entire partnership. T7 stopped just in front of her. It was so tall that its head was level with her chest. It sniffed the air around her. Slowly, Gina raised her hand, palm down, and held it near the tiger's nose. T7 leaned forward and sniffed her hand. Then, surprising Gina, it pressed its large head against her palm. A warm feeling spread through Gina's arm and into her chest. The neural link was forming already, faster than normal. "Hello, T7, she said quietly. The tiger looked up at her, and for a second, Gina felt dizzy. Something about those eyes seemed familiar. "You two are connecting well," Dr. Kyung said from a speaker in the wall. "This is a good sign." Gina nodded, but she couldn't shake a strange feeling. As T7 circled around her, checking her out, Gina felt like she was being recognized, not just examined. "We're leaving for Huesan Colony in 1 week," the commander's voice said through the same speaker. "You have until then to prepare." Gina looked down at T7, who had settled beside her like they had been partners for years. "We'll be ready," she said, though she wasn't sure why her heart felt so heavy with both dread and hope. For 3 days, Gina trained with T7. They worked in the big outdoor yard where other handlers watched with interest. No one else had a tiger like T7. "Try the obstacle course again," Gina said, pointing to the tall walls and narrow paths ahead. T7 moved with amazing speed, jumping over barriers and crawling under wire nets. The tiger knew what to do before Gina even gave commands. It was strange. "Your tiger learns fast," said Hoon, another handler who worked with wolves. He stood beside Gina, watching T7 finish the course. "Too fast," Gina said quietly. "It's like T7 already knows what I want." Back in their training room, Gina sat on the floor while T7 drank water from a large bowl. The tiger's metal parts made soft buzzing sounds as cooling systems worked. "Tomorrow we'll practice the neural sync," Gina told T7. "That's when we'll connect our minds." T7 looked up from the water and stared at Gina with those bright blue eyes. Then the tiger did something odd. It walked to a corner of the room where Gina had left her bag and pushed it with its nose. "What is it?" Gina asked, walking over. Inside the bag was an old music player. It was Suma's. Gina carried it everywhere, but hadn't turned it on in months. "How did you know that was there?" Gina whispered. T7 just blinked at her. The next morning, Commander Do-Yun and Dr. Kyung watched from behind a glass wall as Gina prepared for the neural sync. "This will let you share some thoughts and feelings with T7," Dr. Kyung explained through the speaker. "It helps during missions when you need to communicate silently." Gina nodded and placed the small device on her temple. A similar, larger device was already built into T7's head. "Ready?" she asked the tiger. T7 sat in front of her, very still. Gina pressed the button. At first, she felt nothing. Then slowly, she sensed something new in her mind, like a door opening to another room. Through this door came feelings that weren't hers: curiosity, strength, and something else, something like sadness. "The connection is strong," Dr. Kyung said, looking at her screens. "Better than expected." Gina tried sending a simple command through the link. *stand up*. T7 stood immediately. *turn in a circle*. The tiger turned. *now lie down*. Instead of lying down, T7 suddenly went stiff. The tiger's eyes blinked rapidly and its legs began to shake. "Something's wrong," Gina called out. T7 collapsed on the floor, body twitching. Gina ran to the tiger, placing her hands on its head. "What's happening?" Dr. Kyung rushed into the room with her medical kit. "It looks like a neural overload. This shouldn't happen." The tiger's eyes closed, then opened again. The blue glow flickered. "T7, stay with us," Gina said, feeling strangely scared for the tiger. Then T7 looked directly at Gina and made a sound. Not a normal tiger sound. It was words. "Don't worry, Gina," the tiger said. The voice was soft and slightly mechanical, but the way it spoke, the tone, the little pause before saying her name, it was exactly how Suna used to talk. Gina fell backward, away from T7. "What did you say?" Dr. Kyung froze, her medical scanner still in hand. It spoke. "That's impossible. T7 doesn't have speech capabilities." The tiger tried to stand, wobbling on unsteady legs. It looked confused now, as if it didn't understand what had just happened either. Commander Do-Yun stormed into the room. "What's going on?" The readings went crazy. T7 spoke. Dr. Kyung said, with a human voice. "That's not possible," the commander said. He looked at Gina. What exactly did it say? Gina couldn't answer. Her heart was beating too fast. "That voice," She would know that voice anywhere. It sounded like my sister, she finally whispered. It sounded exactly like Suna. T7 had recovered now and sat calmly, watching them all with those glowing blue eyes. The tiger looked most intently at Gina, head tilted slightly to one side, just like Suna used to do when she was confused. We need to run more tests, Dr. Kyung said. This shouldn't be happening. But Gina knew something impossible had just happened. Somehow, her dead sister's voice had come out of this tiger's mouth. And deep in her heart, she knew this was just the beginning. All tests show normal function, Dr. Kyung said, looking at her screens. It was the next day, and they had spent hours checking T7. But it spoke, Gina insisted. We all heard it. Commander Doyun crossed his arms. The tiger has no speech program. What we heard must have been a sound glitch. Gina knew it wasn't a glitch. That voice was too real. You can continue training, but report anything unusual, the commander told her. We leave for Hwasun in 3 days. Back in the training room, Gina watched T7 carefully. The tiger acted normal now, following commands and moving with grace. Was it really you, Suna? Gina whispered when they were alone. Is that possible? T7's ears twitched, but the tiger said nothing. That night, Gina couldn't sleep. She looked at old pictures of Suna on her tablet. Her sister had been smart and brave. She had worked on secret projects for the Defense Force before her ship was lost in space. I miss you, Gina said to the picture. She finally fell asleep with the tablet still on. The next day, Gina took T7 to the forest simulation room. It had real trees and a small stream. They needed to practice tracking. Find the hidden marker, Gina ordered, holding up a small red object for T7 to smell. The tiger sniffed it, then began moving through the trees, nose to the ground. Gina followed, watching how T7 worked. Suddenly, the tiger stopped and looked up at a tall tree. Instead of continuing the search, T7 sat down and made a strange sound. Gina moved closer. What is it? The marker isn't here. T7 made the sound again, and this time Gina realized it was humming. A simple tune, up and down, up and down. A chill ran through Gina's body. It was the lullaby their mother used to sing. How do you know that song? Gina whispered. T7 tilted its head, the blue eyes watching her. Gina felt her hands shake. Only my family knew that song. Our mother made it just for us. She knelt down on the ground, now eye to eye with the tiger. If you're really Suna somehow, show me. Do something only Suna would know. T7 stood up and walked to the stream. With one paw, the tiger began to draw in the soft mud by the water. First a circle, then lines through it. Gina's heart beat faster. It was the secret sign she and Suna had made up as children. They had used it to mark their special hiding places. That's not possible, Gina said, her voice breaking. Dr. Kyung says you're just a tiger with a computer brain. You can't be Suna. T7 came closer and sat in front of her again. Then very softly, so quietly that Gina almost missed it, the tiger spoke. Remember the promise at Hala Mountain. The word sent a shock through Gina's whole body. 5 years ago, she and Suna had climbed Hala Mountain. At the top, they had made a promise to always find their way back to each other, no matter what. No one else had been there. No one else knew those words. Suna. Gina's voice was barely a whisper. Is it really you? How? The tiger pressed its head against Gina's hand, just like that first day they met. But now Gina felt something through their growing neural link, a mixture of sadness, confusion, and love. Human feelings, not tiger feelings. A sound at the door made T7 pull back. Dr. Kyung walked in. How is the training going? She asked. Gina stood up quickly, wiping tears from her eyes. Fine. T7 is doing well. Dr. Kyung looked at her closely. Are you okay? You look upset. I'm fine, Gina lied. Just thinking about the mission. The scientist nodded but didn't seem convinced. If you notice anything unusual with T7, anything at all, you must tell me. This technology is new, and we need to know everything. Of course, Jinna said, but she had already decided not to tell them. Not yet, because if Suna was somehow inside T7, Jinna needed to understand how before she told anyone. She needed to protect her sister, even if her sister was now a tiger. That night, Jinna couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about T7 and Suna. How could her sister be inside the tiger? It made no sense. She got out of bed and turned on her computer. There had to be answers somewhere. Jinna searched for information about T7's creation. Most files were blocked, classified, but she found some basic reports about the neural technology used in the tiger. Words jumped out at her: quantum consciousness mapping and pattern integration. Jinna didn't understand the science, but she knew someone who might. Early the next morning, before regular training hours, Jinna found Dr. Kyung in her lab. "I need to ask you something," Jinna said. "Something about T7's brain." Dr. Kyung looked uncomfortable. "What about it? Where did the patterns for T7's neural matrix come from?" The scientist turned away, checking screens that didn't need checking. "That's classified information, Officer Park. My sister worked on consciousness mapping before she died," Jinna said. "Is there a connection?" Dr. Kyung's shoulders dropped. She looked around to make sure they were alone. "Come with me," she said quietly. They walked to a small room at the back of the lab. Dr. Kyung locked the door behind them. "What I'm about to tell you is secret," she said. "If Commander Do-yeon finds out I told you, we'll both be in trouble." Jinna's heart beat faster. "Tell me." Dr. Kyung sat down and took a deep breath. "Your sister Suna was brilliant. She was working on a way to copy human consciousness, to save it after death. I knew she worked on brain research, but not that. When her ship was lost, we found something in the wreckage, a data core. It contained patterns from Suna's brain. She had been testing her own technology on herself." Jinna felt cold all over. "And you used those patterns in T7. Dr. Kyung nodded slowly. "We didn't expect anything to happen. The patterns were just supposed to help create a better learning system for the tiger's brain. But something more happened," Jinna whispered. "It seems so." Dr. Kyung looked troubled. "We never thought consciousness could transfer this way. It should be impossible." Jinna remembered how T7 knew things only Suna would know. But it happened anyway. "The tiger doesn't have a full human consciousness," Dr. Kyung explained. "Just fragments, pieces of memory and personality. At least, that's what we thought." "You should have told me," Jinna said, anger rising in her voice. "You used my dead sister's brain patterns without telling me." "It wasn't my decision," Dr. Kyung said. "The military wanted the best combat animals possible. They thought using human patterns would make them smarter, more adaptable." Jinna stood up, fists clenched. "I want to see all the files on this project. Everything about what you did with Suna's data." "That's not possible. Those files are locked even from me now." "Then I'll go to Commander Do-yeon," Jinna threatened. Dr. Kyung shook her head. "He won't help you. This goes higher than him." She paused. "But I can show you one thing." She turned to her computer and typed in a long password. A video appeared on the screen. Jinna gasped. It was Suna, alive, sitting in a lab somewhere. "This is Research Log 47, Suna said on the video. "The mapping process is working better than expected. I've managed to copy nearly 40% of my neural patterns to the quantum matrix." Suna smiled her familiar smile. "If anything happens to me, a part of me will live on in the system. Maybe someday we'll be able to restore full consciousness from these patterns." Tears ran down Jinna's face as she watched her sister speak. "When was this recorded?" 2 weeks before the accident," Dr. Kyung said. Suna knew the risks of her work. In a way, she prepared for what might happen. The video ended. Jinna wiped her eyes. "What happens now?" she asked. We still leave for Hwasun tomorrow, Dr. Kyung said. The mission hasn't changed. But I'll keep studying T7, trying to understand what's happening. Gina stood up straight. T7 is coming with me. Whatever part of Sunat is in there, I'm not leaving it behind. Dr. Kyung nodded. I understand. She hesitated, then added, Be careful, Gina. We don't know what this means, a human consciousness in an animal body. T7 may be confused, caught between two worlds. Suna is my sister, Gina said firmly, no matter what body she's in. And I will protect her. The ship landed on Hwasun with a soft bump. Gina checked her gear one last time as the doors opened. T7 stood beside her, alert and ready. Remember the plan, Commander Do-yeon told the team. We check the main outpost first. Stay in radio contact at all times. 10 soldiers, 3 handlers with their animals, and 2 scientists stepped out onto the planet's surface. The sky was orange-red, and 2 small moons hung low on the horizon. The air smelled like metal and dust. Something's wrong, one of the wolf handlers said. It's too quiet. He was right. The landing area should have been busy with workers. Instead, it was empty. Tools lay on the ground as if dropped suddenly. T7, scan for life signs, Gina ordered. The tiger's head lifted, special sensors in its nose and ears working. T7 turned in a slow circle, then looked at Gina. Through their neural link, Gina felt confusion and worry. T7 sensed something, but couldn't identify it. Let's move to the main building, Commander Do-yeon ordered. Stay alert. They walked in tight formation across the landing area. Gina kept one hand on her weapon and the other near T7. The tiger moved silently beside her. The main building's door was open. Inside, lights flickered, desks were turned over, and papers scattered the floor. Signs of a fight, one soldier said, pointing to marks on the walls. But no bodies, another added. T7 suddenly growled, a low sound that Gina felt more than heard. Through their link, she sensed danger. Something's coming, she warned. Everyone raised their weapons as a sound came from the hallway ahead, a strange clicking noise, like many small metal parts moving together. Hold position, Commander Do-yeon ordered. From the dark hallway, a shape appeared. At first, Gina thought it was a person. Then she saw it wasn't human at all. It had a human shape, but its body was made of shiny black material that moved like liquid. Where its face should be, there were only smooth curves with no eyes or mouth. What is that? Dr. Kyung whispered. The creature tilted its head, as if studying them. Then it raised an arm that changed shape, forming a long, sharp point. Fire, Commander Do-yeon shouted. Bullets hit the creature, but they seemed to pass through its body without doing harm. It moved forward, fast and smooth. T7 leaped in front of Gina, roaring. The tiger's metal parts glowed as combat systems activated. Fall back, the commander ordered. Get to the ship. The team began moving backward, still firing at the creature. More shapes appeared behind the first one, all made of the same black material. T7 faced them, not retreating. Gina felt determination through their link. Come on, she called to the tiger. We need to go. But T7 didn't move. Instead, the tiger charged at the creatures, moving faster than Gina had ever seen. What happened next shocked everyone. T7 jumped, but not like a normal tiger. The jump turned into a spinning kick, a perfect copy of the special fighting move Suna had learned in her martial arts classes. The kick hit the first creature, sending it flying backward into the others. The black material scattered, then quickly reformed. How did T7 do that? Dr. Kyung gasped. Tigers can't move that way. But humans can, Gina said quietly. The creatures regrouped and began advancing again. This time, all the animals attacked together, wolves, dogs, and T7. They bought enough time for the team to reach the exit. Outside, they ran for the ship. Gina kept looking back for T7. "Where's the tiger?" Commander Do-yun asked when they reached the ship. Just then, T7 burst from the building, running full speed toward them. Behind the tiger, the whole structure began to collapse, as if being eaten from inside. T7 jumped into the ship, and the doors closed behind them. "What were those things?" someone asked. "Some kind of silicon-based life form," Dr. Kyung said, checking readings on her device. "They seem to be able to assimilate matter and technology." Gina knelt beside T7, checking for injuries. The tiger pressed against her, and through their link, Gina felt fear and confusion. But she also felt something else, a sense of purpose. "You saved us," she whispered to T7, with Tsuna's move. The tiger's blue eyes looked into hers, and Gina knew for certain now. Her sister was in there, fighting to protect them all. "We need to set up a base camp away from the main colony," Commander Do-yun said. The team had flown their ship to a rocky area 5 miles from the attack. "Those creatures are still out there," he continued. "We need to learn what they are and how to stop them." The team began setting up equipment. Gina took T7 to patrol the perimeter. When they were far enough from the others, she stopped. "We need to talk," she said to the tiger. T7 sat down, watching her with those bright blue eyes. "That move you did, that was Suna's special kick. A tiger shouldn't be able to do that." Gina knelt down. "Please, if you can understand me, if you really are Suna somehow, give me a sign." For a long moment, T7 just looked at her. Then the tiger's mouth opened. "It's hard to talk," T7 said slowly. The voice was still mechanical, but the words were clear. "This body isn't made for it." Gina felt tears in her eyes. "Suna, is it really you?" "Not all of me," the tiger said. "Pieces, memories, feelings." T7 moved closer. "I remember dying, then darkness, then waking up, like this." "How is this possible?" Gina asked, touching T7's head. "My project," T7 said. "Copying minds. It worked better than I thought." The tiger made a sound that was almost a laugh. "Didn't expect to be a tiger." Gina hugged T7, feeling the mix of warm fur and cool metal. "I missed you so much." "I'm not completely Suna," T7 warned. "Part tiger, part computer, part your sister." The tiger's ears suddenly perked up. "Someone's coming." Gina quickly stood up as Dr. Kyung appeared around a large rock. "Everything okay?" the scientist asked. "Fine," Gina said quickly. "Just checking the area." Dr. Kyung looked at them, both with suspicion, but said nothing more. Later that night, alarms woke everyone. The creatures had found them. "Defensive positions," Commander Do-yun shouted. Gina and T7 ran to their spot. Through the neural link, Gina felt T7's focus and determination. "They're coming from all sides," a soldier called out. The black creatures moved across the rocks, their bodies flowing like water over the rough ground. There were at least 20 of them now. "Our weapons don't hurt them," Gina said to T7. "We need another plan." Suddenly, one of the creatures stopped. Its body changed, forming a mouth-like shape. From it came a voice, a mix of many human voices speaking together. "We want to talk," it said. Everyone froze in surprise. "What are you?" Commander Do-yun asked, his weapon still raised. "We are the collective," the creature said. "We learn by joining. We want to join with you." "They assimilate technology and biological material," Dr. Kyung whispered. "They've been absorbing the colony and everything in it." The creature's body shifted again, and part of it formed into a human face, a face Gina recognized from the research team that had been stationed here. "We offer exchange," the creature said. "Give us access to your network. We give you what you want." It turned its face-like area toward Gina and T7. We sense unique pattern, not animal, not machine. Human mind in animal body. The creature moved closer. We can help. We can transfer to better body, human-like body. T7 growled, but Gina felt confusion through their link. You can put Suna into a human body, Gina asked. Gina, don't listen to it, Commander Doyun warned. We can create any form, the creature said. We offer this for access. T7 moved forward, staring at the creature. Gina felt something new through their link, hope, but also suspicion. How do we know you won't just take her? Gina asked. We could take. Now, the creature said. We choose to ask. Dr. Kyung moved closer to Gina. This could be a trap, she whispered. They want access to Earth's systems. Think what would happen if these things reached our planet. Gina looked at T7. The tiger's blue eyes seemed filled with thought. What do you want to do? She asked through their link. T7 turned to her. Not worth the risk, the tiger said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Earth would be in danger. Millions would die. The creature moved even closer. Last chance, human form, or stay as tiger. T7 stood tall, facing the creature. I choose humanity, the tiger said. Not just my own. The creature's form rippled with what seemed like anger. Then we take, by force. All the creatures surged forward at once. T7 roared, standing between Gina and the coming threat. And in that moment, Gina realized they were trapped between the creatures and the cliff edge behind them. Fall back, Commander Doyun shouted as the black creatures moved closer. The team fired their weapons, but the shots passed through the creatures without stopping them. One soldier was caught by a long black arm. He screamed as the dark material began to cover him. Help him, Gina yelled, but it was too late. The man disappeared under the black substance. Seconds later, the creature grew larger. T7 growled and pushed Gina toward the cliff edge. What are you doing? She asked the tiger. Through their neural link, Gina felt an idea forming. T7 wanted them to jump. That's crazy, Gina said. It's too far down. But the tiger pushed harder. Gina looked back at the advancing creatures, then down at the deep canyon below. There was a river at the bottom, thin and shining in the moonlight. Everyone, follow me, she called to the team. Then she turned and jumped off the cliff, trusting T7's plan. The fall seemed to last forever. Wind rushed past her ears as she plunged toward the water below. She hit with a splash and went deep under the surface. The cold water shocked her, but she kicked hard and rose back up. One by one, the others jumped too. The creatures stopped at the edge, unable or unwilling to follow. The water, Dr. Kyung said as she swam to Gina. They don't like it. T7 swam powerfully beside them, leading the group downriver to a small beach. They climbed out, cold and wet but alive. We lost Han and Minho, Commander Doyun said, counting the team. And most of our equipment. Gina checked T7 for injuries. The tiger's blue eyes looked tired. Something's happening, T7 said quietly, so only Gina could hear. When we were near them, I felt something. A pull. What do you mean? Gina asked. Their consciousness, and mine, both not in original bodies. T7's voice was getting weaker, created a resonance. Didn't you feel it? Gina remembered a strange buzzing sensation through their neural link when the creatures were close. Dr. Kyung, she called. I need you to look at T7. The scientist came over. What's wrong? Something happened during the attack. Some kind of connection between T7 and those creatures. Dr. Kyung took out her handheld scanner, one of the few pieces of equipment they had left. She ran it over T7's body, focusing on the neural implants. Interesting, she said. The quantum patterns in T7's neural matrix are vibrating at a frequency that matches readings I took from the creatures. What does that mean? Jinna asked. It means there's a connection, Dr. Kyung explained. The consciousness technology Suna developed and the way these creatures store and transfer consciousness, they work on similar principles. Commander Do-Yun joined them. Could we use this connection somehow? As a weapon? Dr. Kyung thought for a moment. Maybe. If we could amplify the resonance, it might disrupt their neural network. Like feedback in a sound system. How do we do that? Jinna asked. The neural link between you and T7, Dr. Kyung said. We could modify it to create a stronger frequency. But, she paused. But what? Jinna asked. It would overload T7's neural matrix. It could destroy the consciousness patterns inside. Jinna felt cold that had nothing to do with her wet clothes. You mean it would kill Suna? Again. T7 moved closer to Jinna. Not kill, the tiger said. Release. What do you mean? Jinna asked. This form is not right for me, T7 explained. Not tiger. Not human. Caught between. The blue eyes looked straight at Jinna. If it saves everyone, I want to do it. Jinna shook her head. No. I just found you again. I can't lose you a second time. The creatures will find us soon. Commander Do-Yun said. We need to decide quickly. T7 pressed against Jinna's side. Remember our promise, to always find our way back to each other. The tiger's voice grew stronger. I kept my promise. Found my way back to you. Even as this. Tears ran down Jinna's face. And now you're leaving again. To save you. To save everyone. T7 looked out toward where the creatures would be coming from. It's what humans do. Sacrifice for others. It's what makes us human. Even in a tiger's body. Dr. Kyung touched Jinna's shoulder. We need to start preparing if we're going to do this. Jinna took a deep breath and wiped her tears away. Tell me what to do. As Dr. Kyung began working on the neural link devices, Jinna sat with T7, arms around the tiger's neck. They didn't need words anymore. Through their link, they shared memories, feelings, and a final goodbye. Dawn broke over Hwasun's strange orange sky. The team had worked all night to prepare for the final confrontation. They're coming, a soldier called out. In the distance, black shapes moved across the rocky ground. There were more now. At least 50. Are we ready? Commander Do-Yun asked Dr. Kyung. She nodded, holding up 2 modified neural link devices. I've changed these to amplify the resonance frequency. Once activated, Jinna and T7's connection will create a feedback pulse that should disrupt the creature's network. How long will it take? He asked. About 3 minutes to build to full strength, but we need to be close to them for it to work. Jinna knelt beside T7. You don't have to do this, she whispered. The tiger's blue eyes looked calm. Yes, I do. Through their link, Jinna felt acceptance and peace. It's okay, big sister. Let me go. Tears fell from Jinna's eyes. I love you, Suna. Love you too, T7 said. Always. Dr. Kyung attached the special devices to both of them, one on Jinna's temple and one on T7's neural implant. When I activate these, stay as close to the creatures as you can, she instructed. The effect grows stronger with proximity. Jinna climbed onto T7's back. We'll get as close as possible. Commander Do-Yun gathered the remaining team. We'll provide cover and distraction. Keep the creatures focused on us as long as we can. Everyone took their positions. The black shapes were getting closer, moving faster now as if they sensed the danger. Ready? Dr. Kyung asked. Her finger hovered over the activation button. Jinna nodded. Ready. The button pressed. Immediately, Jinna felt a strange humming inside her head. The neural link with T7 glowed brighter than ever before. She could feel all of T7's thoughts and memories, both tiger and human. Go! Commander Do-Yun shouted. T7 leaped forward, running straight toward the approaching creatures. Gina held on tight, the wind rushing past her face. The creatures seemed to sense something was wrong. They tried to move away, but T7 was too fast. The tiger plunged into the middle of the black mass. The moment they made contact, a high-pitched sound filled the air. The creatures shuddered and began to lose their shape. Their smooth black surfaces rippled and bulged. "It's working," Dr. Kyung called out. Through the neural link, Gina felt T7 straining to maintain control. The feedback was affecting the tiger too. "Hold on," Gina whispered. "Just a little longer." The creatures began to collapse, their bodies melting into shapeless puddles. But as they died, the neural feedback grew stronger. T7 stumbled and fell to the ground. Gina tumbled off but quickly crawled back to the tiger's side. "Suna," she cried, seeing the blue light in T7's eyes beginning to flicker. Through their link, which was now burning bright, Gina felt something extraordinary. It wasn't just fragments of Suna anymore. It was all of her, every memory, every feeling, every part of her soul somehow gathered together in these final moments. "I remember everything now," T7 said, the voice clearer than ever before. "Our home, our parents, the day I left for my mission." The tiger's body shook. "Thank you for finding me, Gina." "Don't go," Gina begged, holding T7's head. "Have to," the tiger said. "But this time, we get to say goodbye." Around them, the last of the creatures dissolved into nothing. The feedback pulse had worked. "I love you," Gina said. "Love you too," T7 replied. Then the blue light in the tiger's eyes went out. Through their link, Gina felt Suna's consciousness fade away like mist in the morning sun. The neural device on Gina's temple went dark. The link was broken. 3 months later, Gina stood in the training yard of the Seoul Interstellar Defense Force Base. Beside her sat T7, watching the new recruits practice. The tiger looked the same, orange fur with black stripes, metal parts along its spine and legs. But its eyes were normal tiger eyes now, amber instead of glowing blue. Dr. Kyung approached them. "How is T7 doing?" she asked. "Good," Gina said, patting the tiger's head. "Different, but good." "Any signs of, Gina smiled slightly. "Not like before. T7 is just a tiger now. A smart one, but still just a tiger." Dr. Kyung nodded and walked away. Gina knelt beside T7, looking into those amber eyes. "That's what I tell them. Anyway," she whispered. The tiger blinked slowly, then nudged Gina's hand toward a pocket where she kept an old music player, Suna's music player. "You want to hear the lullaby again?" Gina asked softly. T7 made a gentle rumbling sound that wasn't quite a growl and wasn't quite a purr. As Gina played the simple tune their mother had created, the tiger leaned against her side, just as Suna used to do when they were children.